So today I wanted to explain to you all how I personally see support and resistance, as well as how I can help all the new traders out that are watching this video. I'm going to give a full breakdown on support and resistance, ultimately helping you build your trading strategy. So we're now on the charts on TradingView, and support and resistance is basically key levels or key areas that price likes to bounce off of. So it can either bounce up or bounce down. So there's many different ways that support and resistance levels can be identified and interpreted depending on what trading strategy you're using, etc. But personally for me, I like marking support and resistance levels from round numbers. Normally when you zoom out and look at the higher time frames on TradingView, your support and resistance areas that you've marked out will actually align with round numbers. And by round numbers, all I mean is, for example, say we're on Euro USD right now. A round number would be, for example, 1.09 or 1.08, like that. It's pretty straightforward. So for this video, we're just going to be using the Euro USD currency pair. When we're talking about support and resistance, the easiest way I can put it for new traders is that think of it as a floor and a roof. So this support level here that I've marked out is the floor, and then this other level is the resistance, which would be the roof. And price pretty much always fluctuates around this room, if you will. So yeah, this is your support level here that I've drawn, and this is your resistance. So with the support, we can see that price has bang, come down to the support, rejected off, bang, come down to the support again, rejected off, and then come down again and rejected off. That's 3 times that it's rejected. This ultimately shows a solid point of support. If you actually want to do the same as me and mark out your levels on TradingView, what you've got to do is click the geometric shapes here, where it says geometric shapes, and find the one that you want to use. So I always use rectangle to mark out the support and resistance levels. All you got to do is click on the screen and then drag it. Pretty simple. Now, if we come down here to the other key level that I've drawn on, you can see that here price pushes up to this resistance, rejects it, price pushes up to the resistance again, rejects it again, and then price actually breaks through the resistance and comes back to retest the resistance, but it's now flipped and turned into a support. So what was once the resistance is now the support. So as you can see, price has tested this new support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So it's a pretty solid area of support and of buying opportunities as well. So with the key areas, they don't have to be absolutely bang on. So for example, if your area that you've marked out is 1.09 and price comes around 1.8988 or whatever it would be, that's still valid. That's still coming up to your area of interest. Markets are never perfect, so the price isn't always going to hit your perfect entry or your perfect key area. Now, you also might hear other terms for support and resistance that SMC, smart money concept traders, like to use, and these would be order blocks or supply and demand. So if you watch another video, maybe not one of mine but someone else's, and they're banging on about order blocks or supply and demand, that's just the same as support and resistance. Support and resistance is just the original name for this specific chart pattern. So we have a key level here that I drew out earlier that I marked out at 1.07500, which is where price rejected, came all the way back down, tested this support, and then actually broke through this area of interest during the New York session from the New York volume, and I assume this has something to do with news as well. So what we want to be looking for is where price is heading now, where price is heading to the next key area, and it looks like it's found its next key area, which is 1.09. So we had a rejection off there, we had a rejection off the 1.09 area, had another rejection, and then we've actually broken through the 1.09 area. So what I'd be looking to do here is actually just, if we make that a little bit bigger, so there's one of 3 things that price could do here. Price could come back down to this key area, retest it, bounce off it, and it now becomes an area of resistance, and the chart would look something like this. Or price would come back down to this area as well, retest this and break through, and then potentially come back up, retest this, and just do something like that. So price has broken through the potential resistance, come back up to retest it, has done so, respected, and it's now respected the new support, and it's now bounced off it. And the last thing price would potentially do is come back down to this key area, break through, test this resistance, bang, and then it would actually bounce off and continue to go down to the other key areas of support resistance. So if I just drag that out, as you can see, price would be looking to break through the other key areas. So you'll start to acknowledge how the market moves and what price does at these particular key areas. All price is doing is essentially bouncing around the floor and roof. That's all it's doing. And we're just trying to find shorts and long positions based off of the bounces that happen from the floor and the roof, the support and the resistance. Now the fundamentals of support and resistance that I've just shown you, they all apply to each currency pair. If you're wanting to actually trade support and resistance, I'd recommend sticking with a pair like Euro USD, which is a bit easier to trade support and resistance on. This is because the key areas for Euro USD are easier to identify. Now you can take it a step further. So there is something called mid-levels. So a mid-level is basically the price in between key areas. So the mid-level between 1.09 and 1.08 would be 1.08500. So that would be a mid-level. Same here. 1.07 and 1.08, the middle of that is 1.07500, and that is a mid-level. So you need to actually check these mid-levels out and see how they are reacting, see how price is reacting between these, because as you can see here, price did react off a mid-level. So when we look at this 1.07500 area, we can clearly see that price is rejected completely off this level. So if we go back in time and see, price has previously rejected off this level as well pretty significantly. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rejections off this mid-level. So clearly it's a solid point, or it was a solid point of resistance. So this here would have been a perfect short to go for, perfect sell position there. And then as we can see, price has built up a huge support here, and then it broke through the mid-level. But mid-levels are not to rely on too much, because as we can see, price has not come back down to retest the mid-level yet anyway. And also when you're drawing your key areas and key levels, make sure that you draw it from the body to the wick. So as you can see here, started at the body, ended at the wick. So with regards to your entries, you should set price alerts on TradingView so that you'll get a notification when price does hit or hits around your target areas. But price will never always hit your target areas perfectly. So it may be 1 or 2 pips off of it. Ultimately, a few pips here and there from your ideal entry isn't too bad as long as you factor this into your stop loss, so you don't end up losing more money than you wanted to if it does hit stop loss. There's also no reason why you couldn't take entries off mid-levels. You can definitely do that. I'm just saying don't rely on them for your target areas, as they're not always reliable. But yeah, support and resistance is one of the best things you can actually implement into your trading strategy, and it's very, very easy to do. It's very basic, it's simple to understand. Now the final thing I wanted to say is don't implement these strategies and don't implement support and resistance into commodities. So don't implement support and resistance into gold or silver or any of commodities. Gold has different key areas in general, so it will have some very, very strong points and some very weak points. So you may not know how to actually identify them, and especially with gold, it might end up wiping your account out. So I'd stay clear for that and only trade Euro USD to start out with. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's another beginner video boxed off, and there will be many more to come. So I'll see you in the next one.